Now recognize the chairman from California, gentleman from California, Mr. Rohrabacher, for 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. You were just about to suggest what the trend line was. Let me ask you, for the last 10 or 20 years, the trend line in terms of cleanliness of our air has been in what direction?
For most of the major pollutants, it's significantly reduced.
Significantly reduced.
Yes,
and
correct.
So now we find ourselves in a situation where the EPA, even though there's a trend line going dramatically in the right direction, has decided that they have to move up a deadline, and what business is calling draconian. We just had 5 witnesses in front of us talking about that this moving up the deadline will cost hundreds of millions of dollars that otherwise wouldn't cost. So what's the crisis that makes you move up the deadline at the cost of hundreds of millions of dollars to the American people?
The courts were telling us that EPA had to act to respond to the remand, original vacature of care, and then its remand. I will say that while the trend lines nationally have gone down, there are some states that have not sufficiently looked at the ability to use cost-effective.
Did the court set this deadline? You're saying the court set the deadline for you?
The courts told us we had to correct.
Did they set the deadline for you? No.
Their deadline was as soon as possible.
The answer, yes. So the answer is no, they did not set a deadline. Do you think the courts wanted you to waste hundreds of millions of dollars of American people's money in order to move up a deadline that could be achieved at a lot less costly within a year or two?
Our deadlines are achievable with cost-effective reductions.
That's not what we just heard in testimony from people who probably have as much expertise on this as you do. But here we are in the aftermath of an actual case in California where $500 million was given by this administration to a solar panel company that then went bankrupt, again evaporating hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars. Yet we have an example of another company. On September 11, 2011, a letter to the Deputy Administrator of the EPA that the EPA suggests that the EPA has offered to make technical adjustments that will give Texas and Luminant thousands of additional tons of pollution allowances to reduce required emissions reductions. Now, let me ask this. Is this just for this particular group, or have other companies across the country been offered this technical adjustments that will allow for additional allowances?
Well, in order to ensure that the reductions could be achievable in 2012 at a low cost, we took great care to look at what kind of technologies were already in place that could achieve those reductions quickly.
Right.
Luminant came to us, as well as the state of Texas, and identified 3 scrubbers within the state of Texas that had been on a pathway to be invested in and be ready to turn on in 2012.
So have any other utilities across the country asked for this? This is the only example of where people have asked for this?
There are about a little over a handful of adjustments we're making on the basis of technology installations that are in place and ready to be turned on.
But others have requested it.
The particular concern we have with Luminant is they have chosen to make an announcement that they're actually closing mines associated with burning lignite when we believe they haven't thoroughly looked at all of their options or given us an opportunity to make these technical adjustments.
I hope you'd be as concerned about the other people who are losing hundreds of millions of dollars in jobs because of this precipitous action on the part of the EPA, and perhaps we will see who gets special favors. We know that this solar company got it in California and ended up costing the taxpayers $500 million.
Gentleman's time is about to really expire.